What up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of our Saturday live show. With
What's
all,
up?
with me always, I got Pittsburgh in the house. What up, bud?
Not much, man. Just living the dream, the good old American dream that is my life. How about you?
Today, with me and the family, we went out to the zoo. So I got a little burnt, a little tan, got a little sun.
Nice. So
Walked
you
around.
got to see your relatives.
Yeah, there was definitely some epic beards there at the zoo. That's for sure.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
yeah, it was a good time. Kids enjoyed it. All that fun stuff, and they're happy I went and everything. So
Yeah,
just waiting for the schedule to finally, officially change so I can actually like do more and more stuff, with the kids and stuff like that. So,
for sure.
what up, Mike?
Good to
Good
see
to
you,
see
man.
you. Appreciate you being here. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Anything else new in the card world for you?
I mean, not really, man. I've just been super busy. This past week, I've been trying to organize a lot of stuff to get flipped for Marty, a lot of stuff for group submissions and stuff like that. So, like as far as like going out and like doing a lot of like the cool stuff I normally do, like the LCSs and the shows, like I actually didn't do it all this week yet. Although tomorrow morning I'm taking my nephews to the Steel City Con, so I'll at least get to like do some kind of like fun stuff. And I'll probably end up filming there too. Like I know it's not like your stereotypical card show, but they will have cards there.
Yeah.
And one thing I've been like really, really looking into a lot lately is like, different types of cards, like non-sports, like whether that be like the old Marvel cards or, just like anything like a little bit different. Like I bought that box of Power Ranger cards. Not that I think it's going to be like super expensive. It's just like kind of, like for me, I grew up on that stuff. So it was like nostalgia for me. But I do think that there's going to be still a lot of those things that haven't like quite caught up with the rest of the market yet, kind of like the Marvel universe and like all of that other, kind of crazy stuff. So I've been picking up like, different like short printed Star Wars type stuff, like from
Mhm.
the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. Just because Star Wars is always doing something, Disney Plus is always putting something new out. Mandalorian will be coming out. There's going to be a uh, not Solo, but Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show coming out. So, like, just knowing those type of things, like, I just figured, like, could bring a little bit more interest to like that type of market. So, I've just been looking for different types of things. You know what I mean? Not your average base prisms that we were able to flip and make good money on, like, several months ago. So that's kind of been like my focus, is kind of looking for the more unique, nichey type of stuff.
Yeah, like the market has definitely changed since the last time the playoffs around. Like I started adjusting prices on stuff that usually I would should easily hit, especially with a couple different guys that I have, and
Yeah.
make them more realistic now that the playoffs are here. And if they don't sell now, they might sit until next fall year or whatever the case is. So just trying to move a couple bigger pieces of some stuff that I got, and moving to something else, because that's just part of the game. You know what I mean? You sell
Mhm.
something, you buy something else that's undervalued, and you keep moving and flipping.
Exactly.
We got
Exactly.
Maz with us. What up? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
What up, man? Good to see you, man. Go Sixers.
Sixers are looking good, man. I was a little worried whenever they were talking about Embiid and everything, and he's been playing solid. Sixers up 2-1.
Yep.
I was looking at, I do a little betting and stuff like that, and I didn't know what to bet on with the Sixers game. I didn't know what to do. Me and D Rock, we always talk before the games, and because he does a little bit of that too, and he always asks me my opinion and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know, man, because you know what I mean. Like he gets banged up, and then the whole game changes. So
Yep.
I stayed away from that, but I picked Phoenix, and Phoenix won its third game, which I think they're going to be the team that's going to be representing the West. And remember when we were talking about this a few weeks ago before this playoffs even started. And it was for me, it was a toss up if the Lakers would come out, or the Suns. And I kind of, I'm a Lakers fan, so of course at first I was going to say Lakers, but you know what I mean. Like after really thinking about it, that during that show, the Suns were the team. I think Chris Paul and Booker and Aiton. I mean, they're a great, dynamic three for them, and Chris Paul brings a lot of veteran leadership and floor general, to the team that they didn't have last year. So,
yeah, Maz, that's a good question, man. He says, so "What are your thoughts on low pop PSA ultra modern? If the up and comers, there you go. If the prices of PSA are 30 plus, might be a good play." I definitely agree. Stop slow. Yeah, and he mentions Matisse Thybulle. That's one guy I'm glad that I sent in for grading back whenever I was sending Sekou. So I have a good bit of Matisse Thybulle waiting to come back from PSA yet. But yeah, that's definitely a good play, man. Like especially being that you figure some of these younger guys, you can go out and say buy a PSA 9 of their rookie card for sub $30 already. So you could get that card guaranteed in that condition for less than the price it would cost to even grade it. So like I definitely think that's a play, like moving forward.
Yeah, I like Thybulle. I think he's a good defensive player. He's not known that much for his scoring, but with the team that they have, they just need a little 3-point shooting, and the D is more important actually for them because of how much scoring threats they have on their team or whatever.
What's up, Paul? Gate City in the house.
What up? Yeah, Maz, that's definitely the move. Silvers and numbered short prints is like, I've been watching the market, and those are the cards you're seeing get those, I don't know about daily, up and down, but like you're seeing more movement versus like, even some of the short print color, which I was actually surprised. I thought the color would be just as good as, not as silver, of course, but you know what I mean, as good as basically all the others for the most part, other than the silver.
See, it's those silvers, those short prints, and then also those Verjals that are super valuable. Any Verjal. I had to throw Anderson Verjal into this show. So that's what I'm saying, bro.
I was waiting for it. I had it ready.
I figured you did. Yeah, that's why I figured I'd set you up with the good old, assist.
Little alley oop.
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
We were like Lob City there for a minute, bro.
What do you think about the Brooklyn and Milwaukee series, man? Like, I thought it was going to be over, and Milwaukee ended up winning the third game. Did you watch that game? Did you see anything different? What they did?
I saw the highlights. I didn't actually watch the whole thing, but so like I can't really speak like in depth like I would if I watched the whole thing. But I mean, it was a must win. Like Milwaukee had to like it was put up or shut up. If you go down 3-0 to the Brooklyn Nets, like with that disgusting lineup, like you're not winning 4 straight against that team. Like it was a must win. Like they absolutely had to do so. Hobby Beast.
What up, Chris? Good to see you, man. Hope everything's up good in Canada. Yeah,
that's right, Maz. He sure was, man. And he was the pride of an entire nation. The nation of Brazil.
I'm surprised you don't have a tattoo of that man.
I might have to go get one.
Put him right next to the Steeler.
I might have to do that.
That'd be a great collab on your tattoos.
That would be awesome.
I thought the Brooklyn Milwaukee series would have been a little more close, like with just overall like every game. I thought they were going to be a little more even matched, like especially because of Harden not playing basically any of the series.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe that the Nets like basically just handed to them pretty pretty devastating every game except for the last game.
Yeah, for sure. Dude,
Super low
I thought they
scoring.
were done too there for a minute, man. I really did. I mean,
I
they
mean,
still might be, but I thought they were.
they
I thought
only
they were.
scored. They only scored 86 points. Milwaukee had 86 points, and the Nets had 83. Which,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most games you see on the NBA, you're in the hundreds. You're 120s. Sometimes the Nets will have 140. So it must have been a little bit of a slump bad game for both teams. A little bit of defensive battle, which the Brooklyn is not known for any of that. So that's kind of speaks volumes for them moving forward. Like if they're able to keep a team down like Milwaukee, who do have three solid scorers on their squad, and especially Giannis. I mean, it's hard to stop that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I
What
was
do you think is
watching.
going to happen with? You think that Phoenix got this wrapped up with that 3-0 lead against
Yeah,
Denver?
yeah. They might lose one. I think the worst case scenario in five. Or they really honestly probably could sweep. I mean, they blew them up pretty solid in every game. I couldn't believe the line for the game was the Suns were getting 2 points.
Yeah,
But I'm like, how is that possible when they blew them up by almost like what 20, 25 in almost every game, and they're actually getting 2 points? So I took the Suns. I put 50 on the Suns and hit easily, and that was like the easiest bet I had in a long time. So I don't know if people were. Sometimes you'll see in like sports betting, like the lines swing because
mm-hmm.
people bet one way and then they'll bet even more money the other way, so they make the most money. So I thought that one had been going on, but that's not the case. What up, Henry? Good to see you.
You
Appreciate
see
you
my
being
man.
here. He said, meow, meow, everyone.
Is that how it sounded?
Meow, meow.
I like the sound effect, Nate.
I try.
Your dedication to your craft is unparalleled.
It's a gift, but it just comes off like I practice it.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Chris. Man, the Suns are impressing the heck out of me right now because they have if they win the championship, they're going to have one of the toughest roads. So you figure you have the defending champion Lakers, then you go through the Nuggets. Then you'd have to go through either the number 1 seed or the Clippers, who theoretically could still be a very formidable team. So, and then on top of that, you either got the Sixers, the Bucks, or the
Hawks.
Nets. Well, yeah, I'm not counting the Hawks though. I think
Okay.
I'm just counting the Hawks as lost this series. Sorry, Atlanta fans.
Okay.
I like the Hawks. I think there's 3 teams left in the East.
I think it's going to hurt the Sixers as Danny Green is diagnosed with a right calf strain. He'll miss the remainder of the 76ers second round, so he won't be available for any of the rest of the Hawks series for at least. So we're going to see a little more Thibault, which is good for me because, like we were talking about earlier, me and you both been picking up different things and sending them in. So,
yep.
Pretty pumped for that, and it's good for him to get some exposure because honestly, Danny Green's not a long-term fix there. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of just a veteran plug and play 3-point threat, plays a little defense. Hobby beast Chris, he loves some Danny Green. Brought him a championship up to Toronto, that's for sure. Matt says Suns, Jazz, Western Conference Finals will be awesome for the NBA. It's probably going to go that way. I can't see it going any other way. Serge Ibaka got hurt. Is going to have surgery. He's out for the remainder of the playoffs, which that's a huge hurt piece for them as well. Another person that could score, come off the bench, or do a lot of different things for them. So that's going to hurt them. But I think the Suns and definitely Utah will be in the finals. And then you got probably going to be Sixers and Brooklyn. Probably.
That's what I would think too.
What's up, Virginia? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, Virginia. Derek's in the house.
D-Rock, what up?
What up, man?
Go Suns, man. That was a nice solid bet. I put down on them from yesterday.
And that's why you woke up today and was like, I'm rocking that orange shirt just for them songs.
Actually, it's red, but it just kind of looks orange, I guess. Maybe because it's like extra
Probably
light.
because of the light. Yeah.
It happens. Derek says he's rolling with the Clips +6 tonight. It might be a good bet right there. See, like some of these games, like, of course I like Utah. Like, they're a super strong team. They were the best team in basketball. But when you're giving up 6 points, that's a lot of points versus a quality opponent. So that was probably a good pick, man. I usually swing with when the points get crazy like that. I usually swing with that. You know what I mean? Because they would literally have to blow them out to lose. So Virginia says she's watching the Cubs beat the St. Louis Cardinals.
There you go.
Either way, it's whoever loses gets one game close to the Pirates will come to. They're probably still in last place, but
At least we got Cabrian though. Like, that's something to look forward to at least.
Has he been playing? I know he was hurt in the early part of the year with a wrist injury, and they were really slow bringing him back. So I don't know what's going on with that. Matt says, is Tony Dale Lounge still a thing in Pitt? Worked out there one summer, hung there. I am not sure, man. I've never heard of that place.
To be honest with you,
I've never heard of that place, to be honest.
I've never been, so maybe not.
Even though
was it?
Even though I do occasionally work out, but I don't. I never went there. What up, Adam? Good to see you. Adam's Exploits in the house.
What up, Adam? You can see my man.
Another Sixers fan. Sixers fans are rolling in strong.
This is like Philadelphia headquarters here. We showed up on the wrong side of PA today.
Derek says, I've been picking up some much-needed PC stuff since I've been out of work, watching the late eBay auctions, man. I'm sure those auctions have been pretty fire, man, because, like we've been saying the last couple of weeks, that the market's kind of, a little blah, you know what I mean?
Those auctions were fire when the market was hot. So can you imagine what they're like now?
Oh, man. I mean, but that's good for somebody, especially picking up stuff for PC. You know what I mean? You get a couple short prints of a couple different guys that that you like, and maybe it's a courtside or something like that, or maybe it's if you're a Thibault fan like we've been picking up here and there. You know what I mean? Picking up some of his rookie courtsides for a couple bucks. Stash them away, send them to PSA. Eventually, boom! You could have $500 $900 card one day, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Paul says Brian Hayes doesn't even know where first base is. That doesn't surprise me. Adam says Phillies actually beat the Yankees in 10 innings today. There you go.
Nice.
There you go. Anytime you beat the Yankees, that's usually a pretty good, pretty good thing, man, because the Yankees are usually pretty tough. Pirates are available in our Donruss breaks.
Nice. Pirates. Nice. I might have to scoop them up, Michael, if no one beats me to it.
Derek says I'm picking up really nice cards for $1 or $2. And the thing that's cool that you can do too is try and pick up off the same buyers. And this way you could stack your your orders and stuff like that and pay a little less shipping or whatever.
Yeah.
Paul, of course, says go Dodgers because he's a big Dodgers fan, of course. He had the privilege of watching the Pirates get slaughtered by them. Derek said, I've been going a lot of Bo Bichette, Robert Eloy, all these young point guards, Halliburton and Thibault. Can't go wrong, man.
Nice.
I think De'Aaron Fox is probably going to be on the market next year. So if that happens, Halliburton will get first team and get a lot of PT and really show what he can do, and hopefully they can win some games, because that's like the secret recipe right there. You get some playing time, you start to produce, but you got to win games too.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's important. I like Halliburton a lot too, though, man. I think he has a lot of potential long term. I think he'll be one of the better players out of this class. Like I said, man, I really think he had potential to win Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. especially with as much time as like LaMelo missed and everything like that, and inconsistencies amongst like some of the other like top of the class players. Definitely think he's. I agree, Adam. I think that Thibault definitely has all the makings of a really good starter.
Yeah, I think he's going to be solid, and he's going to be huge for you guys whenever because Danny Green's not going to be what you got not going to be able to play the rest of the series. So I'm sure you'll see a lot of Thibault moving forward for the rest of the series, D'ing up on those dudes for sure. Maz asked, "Do you think LeBron gets a bum from the movie?" I think anytime you get guys that get in movies or have documentaries come out and stuff like that, it all depends. Sometimes you get the best movement before the documentary because everyone's sees the cards going up and then they start grabbing them, and then the documentary comes out and it just slowly the air kind of falls out, or sometimes they really pick up. So a lot of it depends on the player, and I think LeBron having a little bit of a down, not playing in the playoffs anymore, and not really advancing and having a little bit of a injured prone year, I think it hurts that. So but I think as things go on with him in his career, it's all going to just trickle up and up and up, little by little, even if it's worst case scenario.
Yep.
Paul said, "No, seriously, Brian Hayes hit a home run against the Dodgers. Was called out because he missed first as he ran the bases. That's why he's a Pirate. That's why he's a Pirate." Derek says he loves Halliburton and Wiseman. I think Wiseman is going to really shine next year. I think having a full off season, hopefully, knock on wood, the Warriors get back Klay Thompson, and he can at least set up and shoot in the corner somewhere. I think they're going to be dangerous next year. So as they, surge, I think so will Wiseman. I think he's going to be a big piece because Draymond's not getting any younger, man.
No, he's not.
Matt says, "I'd trade 12. Who's 12?
Unless he's talking about the pick.
Oh,
they haven't done the lottery yet though. Unless they're talking about what's his name? Tobias Harris.
Adam says, "Is that what they said, Nate? I didn't see anything about him today. Last night they said calf strain." Yeah, I was just looking on ESPN, and they said Danny Green diagnosed right calf strain, will miss remainder of Phillies second round series with the Hawks. That's Danny Green doesn't blow you out of the points, or he makes the occasional three, like he did with the Lakers last year, but he plays pretty decent defense out there, even though he's starting to get a little older. But he definitely is a pretty solid player. I mean, look at what he's done the last 2-3 years. He's won championships, and he's still in the playoffs right now, trying to make it 3 in a row, which is something to be said, because how many people can say they went to 3 different teams and won 3 championships? You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty remarkable, honestly. Matt says he will when Junior joins NBA, passes Jabbar. Oh, you're talking about okay, I got what you're saying. Yeah, I think he's going to be around till at least his son jumps in the league, man.
He's already said he wants to play on the same team as him. So
I wonder how that'll work, though, because
he's going to try to structure his contract to where it expires right as Bronny's about to get drafted, so that he's able to go kind of wherever Bronny goes, type thing. Which is like brilliant, because it ups his son's draft stock too, because he can be like, well, you get LeBron James at a discount then.
Yeah, because I mean, like, teams will use that against him. Like, look, you want to play with your son? It's going to cost you $5 million this year to play. That would be a heck of a pay cut compared to what he's been making. What, like 40s? You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on what team gets him too, though. Like, obviously it'll be like a lottery team, right? So they'll probably have some cap room, I would imagine, because most lottery teams are rebuilding. So I would imagine there's some kind of capital there, unless of course, they find some kind of way to like a contending team trade up that's strapped for cash. You know what I mean? Then they could definitely pull like a Brooklyn move and basically just pull LeBron in and all of his like homies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because LeBron, he has like a cast of guys that are just loyal to him that'll go to like whatever team he goes to.
I mean, I can't blame them who do, because I mean that if MJ was like, "Hey Nate, hold my water bottle," I'm like, "All right, yeah, that was my favorite player back in the day." And not only that, like this dude's one of the best all time. You know what I mean? Like depending on what your list is or whatever, regardless, he's got to be no matter what in your top 10. You know what I mean? Like easily. Adam said the two players actually missed a base on a home run that night. That is literally crazy. Like you're not having to run full speed and you actually missed the base. Not only once, but someone did that. Two different players did that. That is ridiculous. Hurdle. Mike said there was a rumor of Zach LaVine to Golden State. I don't see that happening. But I mean,
I guess it depends on how confident they are in Clay. You know what I mean? Like if they'd be willing to move off of Clay, maybe. But I mean, like, why else would you bring him in?
Yeah,
like, he plays the same position as Klay Thompson. Like,
right.
So they would have to be unconfident in Klay Thompson's recovery because they have a lot of money tied up into Klay Thompson right now. And I'm pretty sure Zach LaVine makes something in the 20 millions, doesn't he? Like somewhere in that range. And this is just 2K numbers I'm throwing out, so I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I remember looking this up. I think it was last week. We're looking up, that type of stuff, and I believe he was a free agent for next year, and he made 20 million. So, I mean, honestly,
he's in the house. What up, man? Grimes fine. Good to see you, bro.
What up, Grimes? Good to see you. Appreciate you being
Justin, I might be coming out to Dallas in August, bro. If so, I'm probably gonna come stalk you and or meet you. Just kidding. About the stalking part, not the meeting.
Clay signed that 5-year deal, so he still has 3 years on his deal at max money because that's what he signed 2 years ago. He hasn't played a game. I mean, honestly, like unless you're one of these teams that are just desperate to hopefully get talent and you just want to bring a guy that you really feel that he can just tear it out, shoot the ball out like crazy, then maybe you go for that. But I mean, I don't see a team like giving up a whole lot for a max player who hasn't played a game in not only 1 year but 2 years. I mean, that's a big risk. So I don't know. I just if they were going to trade like Draymond and maybe go after a power forward or something like that, maybe I'd believe it. But getting another guard, I just don't see that happening. Because I mean, honestly, they have Kelly Oubre, which I think he is on expiring contract too. They got Wiggins, they have Clay, they have Steph. I mean, at the guard position, and even considered some small forward in some of those positions, they're loaded in that position. So if anything, they just need a big that can shoot to help out Wiseman, because he doesn't really have a 3-point game, or he might have a little bit of a J here and there, but he's mostly like a down the block type of player.
Michael says he heard it was a sign and trade for Kelly Oubre. Would make sense. Yeah, Grimes, I'll definitely come hang out with you, bro. So Grimes wants to know what you know about this card grading thing, Nate. Is it worth it?
Right now, I mean, depending on what you're sending in, what it is, it can be. The main thing is the weight coming back for the cards and stuff like that, man. Like if you got stuff and it's high end stuff, of course you want to send to like PSA or the Beckett's of the world, because that's going to give you the best retaining dollar for whatever you're going to get. But if you send
they're shut down right now unless you pay like the super max. So like if you have like the LeBron Jameses or the Michael Jordans, then it's totally worth it. But you know what I mean? Like when you don't, it's like super difficult, to even like think about putting like a huge investment into, like that kind of stuff.
And so the problem with Ben Simmons, he's on a max deal. I don't know what's the 76ers would have to do to give him up and trade. There was a lot of talks with Harden. You know, that last year they were talking about Harden for him, and I guess Maxey as well. But like that's the one thing like I always think about when I'm looking at some of these contracts and trying to like put it. If I was a GM, what would I want? I mean, Simmons is a great player. He plays defense, plays hard. He's an amazing freak of nature, and athleticism and everything. But he can't shoot a jump shot. He's almost like a Giannis in a way. But Giannis actually can shoot the ball. Like he can shoot the three better than him, of course. And everything else. So like there's shortcomings in his game where with Giannis he can average 25, 30 points a game. In the playoffs and bring you lead your team, where Ben Simmons has to do it in all the other stat boxes. So it makes it hard, man. But like
he's asking about pre-grading. My bad. Pre-grading. So yeah, I like it if you don't know a lot about, like, say for example, like conditions and like what they'll like basically turn into. So like what I do is like I offer it for free pretty much with my group submissions, where like I'll go through and anything that I think is like below a 9 for somebody, I'll be like, yo, this is probably below a 9. Do you still want to send it? If not, let me know and I'll pull it, type thing. And I know Nate does the same thing. Mm-hmm. Now on some cards, like you can get away, like older cards. Like I have a Terry Bradshaw rookie card that's a 5, and that's still valuable because it's from 1971. You know what I mean? So like older cards like that, you can get away with a little bit lower of a grade, but anything that's like newer and like somewhat modern, if it doesn't have like a 9 or a 10, it's like literally a paperweight. So for that reason, I really like pre-grading. But if you have like a really trained eye and like you're able to assess your stuff, then by all means, like it's probably not necessary. But just to eliminate like any kind of like waste of money, just because like say you're paying, especially with like companies charging so much as they are during like a lot of the shutdowns. If you're paying that accelerated rate and then say it comes back less than a 9, you're already losing money. Like at this rate, sometimes you almost need to hit a 9 just to break even and then hit the 10 to make the money. So if you don't have that eye, it's always good to go with somebody that does do pre-grading.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're setting in and how you're buying, if you're getting stuff in lockers and you're getting it for pennies on a card, you know what I mean? Like, and you find a couple home runs, and even if it comes back a 7 or something like that, you're still scoring because, you know what I mean? You literally have nothing in the card. Now it's graded, it's authenticated. If it's like a Kobe or even a Jordan in a PSA like 2 is worth like good money. I mean, I would buy a PSA 2 of Michael Jordan. Not saying I would pay, I don't know what the market's going for it right now, but just to have a Michael Jordan rookie, as a display piece, it's still worth a nice chunk of change regardless. So a lot of it's just how you're buying. You know what I mean? Like if you're buying just collections and just buying a ton of cards, and you're grading stuff, and you're able to do it like that, then even if you get some lower stuff, it's not as bad. But if you're like sniping off auctions and maybe you had some cards that you bought like before the really the craze of all the card market, like before COVID, then like maybe you need to be a little more better grading it or have someone look at it, because like Anthony said, if you're not getting a 10, especially with the weight and stuff like that, getting it back, the market switches and changes as we all see right now. You know what I mean? Like you need those to come back a 10 because at least okay, like I'm gonna score on that if that comes back a 10. Like I had an Aaron Rodgers rookie that came back a 10. Like I sent that off and it cost me, I think it was like 80 or $90 to get off sending and graded. That's $1,000 card roughly, somewhere in there that I have now. So like, obviously I scored on that, but I got some other cards that were scores just to make the deal, but they came back 8s, but I'm still up, but it's just not as sweet as a score. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
It all depends on what you're great, what you're doing it for. If you're doing it just to collect, or if you're doing it just to resell or whatever. I mean, it's just there's a lot of factors involved, but for the most part, you just want to get all nines and tens. If you can get all tens, then that's exactly what you want. Because if you're getting anything less than that, you're just wasting time. You're sticking up the line at PSA and Beckett and all these other places for people like myself who actually have goods cards that we're all waiting for and stuff like that. So nobody wants just get a stack of cards and go here PSAs, grade these, and
So
then
you're mad that you're waiting behind my Seikus?
Yes. Yes.
My endless pile of Seikus that are going to be paperweights when I get them back. Maybe that'll be a channel giveaway. Seiku Demboya paperweights in PSA slabs.
Chris says, "Heck, I'd buy a Jordan PSA 1 if I could have it in my PC." Same here, man. I would definitely want to do that. Derek says, like me, for example, the stuff I bought from Pittsburgh fire sale. He's pre-grading stuff for me and checking them out. I'm still very new, so frustrating and stronger opinion. Yeah, I mean, like me and Pittsburgh, we've been grading and looking at cards, and we have the microscopes and just all the stuff that you need, and not only that, like we understand like what these companies look for, like what each company grades a little bit different. You know what I mean? But like we know the things that they grade really hard on, and maybe stuff that maybe not as hard on. So like if we're going for because when I was sending in cards for PSA, if you didn't get a 9 or a 10, in my opinion, then I would hold it, or I'd say, hey, I don't think this will get a 9. Do you want me to send it anyway? Some people said yes. Some people had the stuff held, and then I gave it back. Or I still have, I think, a couple cards here for, I think, Paul, but because I haven't had the chance to send anything back because PSA hasn't sent me anything back yet. But it's better to have a second eye looking at the cards, especially if someone's looking at a bunch of cards like me and Pittsburgh has. Adam says, wow, $90 per card. That was at Express PSA before they jumped the price double. So if honestly at this point, if I could do that again for $90, I'd have 9 or 10 more cards I would send right now, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. That's what sucks, man. But from what I understand, Nat Turner said, it might have been last week, that they're going to reopen some submission levels in July, but right now they're not sure like what levels are going to be available. So that leads me to believe that the levels that I like to submit to you through will not be available to me still.
Graham says, what do you think? What do y'all think about getting a head start on getting things great, like retro cards, comics, TV series, cartoons? That stuff is becoming the new antiques. Do you think retro cards will follow?
I do. Right? I mean, you can. I didn't mean to cut you off again. You give your opinion.
No, good.
The reason I do, and I'm going to show this. Paul actually just sent these to me to send in a group submission, but these things are super hot right now. Marvel Universe 1990 cards. I used to sell these at the flea market for $0.25 like 3-4 years ago. And now they're like the hottest thing out there. So I've been picking up certain stuff. Like I just picked up some like 70s and 80s Star Wars stuff. Just because I anticipate a string of stuff happening, like, the new Mandalorian, the new, Obi-Wan Kenobi thing, and like, so basically anytime you can predict a lot of stuff, so like that's why Marvel's always good, because you can look ahead to see what projects they have coming in the future, and before they really start heating up, you can be picking that stuff up, and then once it starts to pop, it's just like anything else, that goes through phases. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely think a lot of that stuff is going to go in value a lot more. Now there's going to be some stuff that just is untouched, you know what I mean, that just stays like worthless. But I think like the more rare stuff and like the more iconic stuff, you'd probably be safe like grading and storing.
I mean, the thing that, like with some of the stuff that you're looking at or thinking about maybe even, doing and getting kind of a head start on, think of it like back in your childhood or someone's childhood from when those were brand new. Like, are those iconic? Are they still like someone in demand? That maybe, of course, they're not in demand as much as maybe before, or maybe a little less. I mean, it just all depends. But like, if there is that what word am I looking for? That like something you like from your childhood. What's the word?
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. If it has that nostalgia, then it's always going to have some good value. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the toys, forever will have nostalgia. Forever. So like, kind of the same thing. Like if like a certain comic book, like the Spider Mans and stuff like that, has any type of nostalgia or love from back in the day, it will come back, and it should be pretty well as well.
So Derek actually has a real good question here. But real quick, shout out to Flipping Goodies. What up, Mike? Good to see you, man. BJ's in the house. What is going on?
We got Grunt Dad in the house. What up?
Grunt Dad, what up, my man? So Derek was asking. He said the two of us differ a little bit on grading and companies and stuff like that. He says Nate seems to stick more with PSA. I seem to go more with pure graded and other options. Where does a new guy look? Personally, in my opinion, is both and. And honestly, the only reason I really don't do more PSA is just because like I give all my PSA business to Nate. So like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think you're wrong grading anywhere you grade. Like PSA is always going to be maximum value, but right now it's also maximum dollar and maximum wait time. So for me, like I don't have the capital. Like right now, like if I was sitting on like multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, just to be able to buy a whole bunch of stuff and then wait like forever for it to come back, I would probably go more like that model of max value. But like the way I do it, I have to flip so much week to week to like kind of be able to continue building my collection, and then also like realistically pay my bills and stuff too, because the majority of what my business does nowadays is cards. So for me, like I have to be doing a constant turnover with stuff to kind of make it worth it for me. And because of that, that's why I tend to go a lot more with a lot of like the newer companies and or ones that like have shortest turnaround times, just because like for me, like waiting for the cards to come back is like sometimes pressure, because I need the graded cards back to be able to pay next month's bills essentially. So that's kind of my perspective on it. But Nate, like, how do you kind of see it?
So for me, PSA is top dog. And not only do I think that, like basically the whole collecting universe of sports cards thinks that. So getting any card graded PSA is going to bring you max dollar. And for me, collectability, max dollar, that's so important to me, like as I collect, because each one of these is basically like, a slabbed up piece of currency. You know what I mean? Like it might not be the US dollar, but it's something close that I can easily, sell for whatever the market's going for. So like, with all these companies charging different prices and things like that, the main thing that you look for is, what's the value of this card going to bring in this slab, that for me, I never have to question PSA. The great pure grade X could be, the fourth best, third best, second best eventually, or whatever the case is. But it's a little bit of a gamble anytime that I don't grade with anyone other than PSA. Does that make pure graded X bad? No. You know what I mean? Like for what Pittsburgh does and what for many other people do, they want those cards back. They want to get them close as the market value was at the time when they sent it in, and they're able to get it back and make some money. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, but if you're looking at like say for example, like I sent in some Thibault, short prints and stuff like that. I bought those for super cheap. I graded them, a year ago or 6 months ago. Like I have some sent in already.
I go affordable.
Right. Like, and so if I paid, say, all in $16, $17 to grade that card, and Thibault goes off and has a heck of the rest of the playoffs, and now he's a starter next year and maybe close to an all-star. You know, I already have his PSA 10, say courtside, sitting here for $17 that I got on in. Now, you know, I'm getting max value for that. So, you know, a lot of it is just how your business approach is. If you're going for long-term investment holds, or you're going for max value, or you're going for the quick turn and burn, or maybe, you know, you're grading for PC. Like, you like the way that the card looks, you like the people, the service, you know, you want to get them back quick. So, I mean, there's not really like a, you know, one answer to that. You know what I mean? It's some of it's just based off of just, you know, opinion, what you want to do. But, you know, for me, PSA is the best because honestly, you know, their cost per card usually is not the most expensive. Right now, of course it's insane because they only have a couple different you know, things that you could send in right now. But once they open up, hopefully they have something cheaper than, you know, some of these other guys, which is usually where they're at, and that's why they always kind of have a safe place at the top of the collecting stratosphere.
I'll agree with you there as far as like prices normally being fair, because I used to be able to send to Nate's group submission cheaper to PSA than I could send on my own to SGC. And the differences was like a good 20 to 40% in resale value between SGC and PSA at the time. So like for me, it was like I was only sending SGC every once in a while, you know what I mean? Just as like an alternative for cards that look good in like a black case. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense too, man.
Graham says, I'm about to order some
Nice.
retro wax on eBay.
Yeah,
I'm going to grade some. Thanks for encouraging me to spend money.
You're welcome, man.
Yeah, I hope it, you know, it turns out well for you and you make a bunch of money, man. But, you know, just like I said, like, you know, if you're going to be doing a lot of grading, if you don't have anybody to look at the cards or whatever, make sure you buy like a microscope thing that me and Pittsburgh both have videos on our channels. And that will give you the best chance of like getting those tens that we all hope for and not
You'll
waste
see
money.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, the surface is so important. That is the one thing that I can't stress enough when you're grading. If it has some surface issue, don't even send it because it's going to probably be at least an 8, maybe a 9 if the rest of the card's perfect, but it has to be perfect. So Matt says this is a perfect time for newcomers. You know what? We try to bring you guys some good information. You know, the card market has definitely changed, but you know, that's just like business. Business changes every day. You know, COVID has struck and left a bad look on different things and made cards go crazy. And now it's kind of, you know, leveling out a little bit, but that's okay. You know why? Because, you know, I'm still excited about collecting cards and stuff like that. I'm still buying, you know, I'm not just selling everything off. You know what I mean? Like, I just wish I could rip more wax, which, you know, it's kind of hard, especially now since Target and other places are going more online than ever. I just never can be
If
lucky.
you can get up early, like Friday mornings, I've heard like, you know, it's been getting easier for a few local people, at least for Target, and from what I've heard, at least. But you have to get up like first thing, or else you don't get none. Grunt Dad says, in his opinion, he thinks PSA's not going to lower their prices. They may bring back 1 to 2 levels, but still have a premium cost. That's kind of what I got from like Nat Turner interview on Sports Card Live. It might have even been last Saturday night. I can't remember exactly when it was, but he had Nat Turner on for an interview, and like the gist of it is they're definitely opening some levels up on July 1st or whatever July date he gave, but he said it's definitely not going to be every level, which leads me to believe that like the levels I really want to submit for will not be available, which sucks.
So ever since PSA is like shut down, no, I don't want to say shut down, but they basically shut down. You know, the market is kind of, you know, made its way as what it was. So I'm just hoping that, you know, them opening at least some avenues of getting some different cards graded at maybe a decent price will kind of help bring that that wave back and get people excited again. I don't know if that's it or just a combination of a bunch of things, but
They're
yeah,
supposed to be live grading at the National. Did you hear that?
no,
Both them and Beckett are supposed to both be live grading there.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah. I'm sure they're probably going to charge like out the butt to like live grade your cards or to like get them back to you like in the time the National is or whatnot. But that's still kind of cool though.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't want to say I know, but I'm almost positive they're going to bring back like a regular express. They'll probably have just an all-in-one price for like bulk or some type of long term send in. I'm going to guess it's going to be like 25, 30 card, which even at that price, it's not bad because I mean, look at what a lot of these other companies are charging, and the thing is, with the price being higher, they're having the insurance coverage on that level raised as well. So if you're sending in some fire stuff, even though you got to wait for it, at least you're not going to have to come out of pocket even more than before. So like I've had that happen like on a couple different cards where like it was in like kind of borderline of do I send this express because I have to because it's too expensive or not. Then they changed that, and then that's whenever they went out. So I'm sure they'll have something going on. They've been they haven't been grading like anything bulk or anything like new, like haven't come in for a few months. They got purchased. But you know what I mean. Those guys want to start the cash flow coming back in because every time an order comes in, it might not get paid that day, but it's cash coming through the door, and once it gets rolling, it's pretty hard to chill out. So I think they'll definitely have something back in the mix.
Grimes is asking if we had any cartoon cards for sale. I just wanted to show him a couple. This was one of the Star Wars ones I got, and then I have an entire box of old 1990s Power Ranger cards that I picked up from my card shop. I think I paid like less than 99 cents a pack for these. But yeah, so like I've been picking up weird stuff like that.
Granddad said PSA has been averaging 130 to 140K per week, depending on the rumor backlog number. They will probably still have being millions in the hole come July 1st. I agree. Like there was a report that a lot of the backlog was like done, but they have whoever wrote that report. I don't know who it was or where it was from, but someone posted in our group. They made it sound like they're like really caught up, but I can tell you for a fact that I have a bunch of orders at PSA, and let me check and see where they're at on their customer communication board. We should start doing like a weekly update on PSA, like here's their backlog and where they're at.
There's actually a dude that does that. I think Retro Hoops Collector. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but yeah, he actually like literally has a weekly like PSA update. Here's their backlog, like what that means type thing.
Right. So these are the areas where I've graded cards for people. And August 18th, these are enter dates, which I'll show you in a second what that means. And here's the ultra modern. That's where they're at for the enter dates, which is not when they actually got the cards.
Mm-hmm.
The enter dates,
they open it.
Yeah, it's when they opened it. So my first one is February 11th, and I sent that in December. So they're still 4-5 something months behind. You know what I'm saying? These are my two, express orders or whatever.
Did you have to write express on the package so they knew to open that one faster?
No. They had those labels that you just print and just put on. They scan it, and that's how they know it's received, and then it's updated to their thing or whatever.
Gotcha.
They used to tell you to write all over it and all this other stuff, but they haven't done it. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
What up, Harlan? Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure.
What up, Alex? Say, hey guys, I owe someone for last week. Can you send me a bill? I think I got an email, but it's gone. So Paul or Pittsburgh.
It's not me, but you can send me money if you'd like.
I like money.
I'll buy more Vergel if you send me money.
He can add to his
Funny because it's true.
collection.
LeBron wanted to hug me too, but I was like, get away from me, bro. I'm hanging out with my homie Vergel.
Matt says PSA hired too many people to not bring cheap grading back. I agree. That's what fuels their company. That's what gives them the you know, like I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was explaining like how, like, comps come around and stuff like that, and the more cards that are in circulation, that's how comps are made. So like without PSA having comps for all these new guys coming out or whatever, the value is not there, or it might be a little bit better because there's not as many. You know what I mean? So however way you look at it, but I'm sure it's going to be up, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Like I really feel like it won't be anything crazy. Paul says I don't think you'll be able to grade with PSA for less than 40. Maybe.
I don't either, at least for the interim.
Maybe.
I think one day you will, but maybe not for a while. I hope that's not the case, but I don't know, man.
I think they're going to look at the state of the market and everything too, and these prices going up doesn't help the market. You know what I mean? Or anybody, it helps them to have to grade less cards, helps them expand and get more buildings and hire more people. But it doesn't help the investors, the people that really fuel the card, economy. So the prices are what needs to.
That's a really good point. Wow. Okay, so Grunt Dad actually just said, with all these new graders PSA hired, maybe that's the reason so many people are being angry with the grades they're receiving. Yeah, I mean, there's probably not much consistency if there's a lot of brand new people doing it. Especially if, like, for example, like, I'm sure they didn't hire like everybody that had like already graded cards before in the past. You know what I mean? I'm sure that they go through some due diligence to make sure that they have like a sports card background, but I'm sure when you're as behind as they are, they need warm bodies. So I'm sure that there's some level of, untrainedness to it, I would think, but I don't know.
They're using that technology that that company they bought through the images and stuff like that, where they're able to do like the prints. And I mean, if you're having a new guy, just like I'm grading, just like I'm training a guy at work, for example. Like I'm watching what he's doing, and if he does something wrong, I have to come in and help him out or whatever. So
I thought you were going to bring the hammer down.
I'd have to let him have it. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So like honestly, I'm sure there is things in place to help with this. You know what I mean? Like have someone double check, look at the grades, stuff like that. I mean, I got a PSA 10 from them the other, and I don't want to say the other day, but I got that Aaron Rodgers back, and it definitely was a 10. I knew it was 100% a 10. The question is, did PSA think that as well? And they said let them have it, and I got it. So I mean, honestly, PSA, their grading system allows them to give more 10s, and that's where I think people, and why I think people like them the best. I mean, honestly, you look at all these other companies, they, like for example, you got Beckett. They have like the pristine, the 9.5. The 9.5 hurts them. You think that would actually help them because the 10s would be the most money or whatever. But what they did was most of their cards would come back 9.5s, which entail hurts their money because they're not grading as many 10s. So like, the people that are sending in cards, they want a better chance of getting a 10 because a 10 is a 10 and it's worth X. Even though if you got a pristine, of course, that's going to hit some multipliers like you're at the casino. But
that's what I like about SGC.
So hard to get those.
because the SGC gave you like the best of both worlds. They're like, we'll give you the 9.5, but we'll make the 10 attainable, kind of like PSA is. You know what I mean? Like, because that's like that is like something funny, because like with most companies I've sent that do like at 9.5 outside of SGC, it's been hard to ever hit a 10. Whereas like anytime I've ever sent SGC, I've hit multiple 10s, like a decent volume of 10s. You know what I mean? And I always hear how hard they are of grading, but even with that being said, like it's 10s are still attainable. Whereas like if you're sending a lot into Beckett, it's like if you get a 10, like that is legitimately a pristine card. Like there's no doubt about it, because they're that strict on it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean,
give my Okoros some 10s, because I got some autographed Okoros sitting there right now.
Adam says, as the collectibles industry continues to expand and demand for PSA service continues to expand along with it. All right, they're grading Funko Pops, and I'm sure there's going to be more stuff coming in the future as well. Because I mean, now that everything's everything wants to be graded and valued. And they get that PSA sticker, it's worth good money, if it's a good player or whatever.
Dude, look at even video games now are being graded. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And the whole reason to own a video game typically is to play it, but now they're grading the cartridges, they're grading the actual boxes, like all of that stuff, man. So it's like comic books, like all kinds of stuff. Like, can you imagine like where we're going, like where we just start grading everything one day?
Right. Like pretty soon we'll be buying two of everything because you want to grade one and play one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's crazy, but I mean,
like you could do that with action figures, like the cards and stuff like that. You can get those graded and stuff like that. And I think the true collector market, that's eventually where it's going, because up until like grading became a thing, there was really no true way to give a like real evaluation of your card, because every card has various flaws. So without giving it like some kind of numeric value, there's really no way to differentiate. Like, say if both of us both have a LeBron James rookie card, there's really no way to differentiate it outside of just eye appeal. But even at eye appeal, like a good BSer can really, either knock that price up or down one way or the other. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think like just industry standard going forward in collectibles, I think that's going to be something like you said with like the Funko Pops and stuff. Like if Funko Pops aren't the next Beanie Baby, you're probably going to want to have those boxes graded, because I'm guessing those boxes probably weren't made to stand up the test of time. Just,
No.
And plus you figure like dust or whatever getting in there or whatnot. But I don't know. Is there somebody grading Funko Pops yet?
Yeah. PSA is doing that. Yep.
Okay. Nice.
That's awesome. They started doing that, I think, around the time that they actually stopped, like, started shutting down a lot of their grading and stuff like that. So they're definitely expanding into more than just cards and stuff like that, and autographs and things of that nature.
That's really cool.
Adam says a PSA may decide to adjust pricing, service offered, and processing time to better align the demand for PSA services with the capacity to deliver those services. I think that they'll end up doing with PSA is like, for example, I have like I think the silver, which is like their lowest membership tier, right? I think they're going to do something where like whoever has gold can send the most cards per month, whatever that is. Silver or platinum, sorry, is the best. Gold second best, and then silver is whatever's left or whatever. I think they're going to kind of go to some type of tier based on that, and that's part of the reason why I think platinum, like as soon as like the prices and stuff start to go up, like initially before, and then everything has changed after that, those instantly sold out like the second like they started to raise prices and stuff like that. So I don't know if like people thought this might happen where they can only grade so many cards a month, and they just want to give people a limit versus I got a stack of cards this high, I'm going to send in 900 of them, and 700 of them are going to be 6 and below in grades because they're not in any good condition. So I wonder if that is something that they might do, which I hope they do that, because it'll make people grading cards more picky, and it'll help out with some of the backlog too, because if you're grading base, for example, you can grade base of like Zion, John, different stuff like that, but it's not going to be the greatest money because base doesn't get as much love, and so overpopulated, kind of most of the '90s feel a little bit, but all the other different sets and not sets, but the variations and different things like that, keep us from the '90s type of thing or whatever. Harlan says, with all the grading companies hiring new people, grades will be all over the place. At this point, it's all about grading as many cards as they can and rake in the money. That's part of the reason why I think PSA is not going to kind of, have a real weird staggered stance, because they can kind of do what SGC did. They raised their price to $75 a card when they should have kind of stayed afloat where they were at. They would have had so much business and so much money coming their way, even if they would have had a year or two of backlog. I'd rather have a year or two of backlog than barely meeting quotas or hitting like target income coming in or whatever of business. So who knows, man. Paul says, if PSA, SGC, and Beckett ever started to open franchise or branch across country, they'd be on top of the grading game for a very long time. Definitely. I mean, they're probably the top three companies like in the game right now, and it's crazy that SGC made top three only because of Gary Vee for the most part. But I mean, I like the way that their slabs look. I just don't like.
It's actually a very good idea for franchising. That's smart, but it would be hard to oversee. Like if you're like one
quality
company,
control,
you know what I mean? Because like for example, like if me and Nate both like own a Subway, my Subway can like have all types of scandals and it not bring down Nate's Subway. Whereas like if like say PSA had like many PSAs like Subways, like one big scandal from PSA could like ruin the reputation for the other ones as well. So I think it could work, but it could also not for that reason too. Because that's a lot of like people that you don't have immediate eyes or supervision on too, to like have to keep accountable as well.
Right.
So that's a great idea, but I think there'd have to be a lot of built-in accountability in something like that.
Definitely. I mean, like kind of what Pittsburgh was touching on before, like even just the new hires, people were worried like the grades might not be as good, or people might grade too hard, or whatever the case is. I mean, that's why I think that, as this goes, especially if that's, that would happen, for example, the digital grading is going to be just, the way you have to go about it, because then you have a standard versus human interpretation of a grade or what they think, which me and Pittsburgh could look at the same card and he'd be like, this looks beautiful. I take a look at it at first. I'm like, that might have a little issue. And then, I throw it under the microscope. I'm like, yep, there it is. Or maybe, well, maybe not, so, so many things can be interpreted however you want it, just how you look at it. You know what I mean? Matt says, maybe if every card going through the AI has the same flaw, they won't hold it against the grade. Like, it really could be. I mean, if the AI is flawed, then the whole process is flawed. Then that would literally destroy the company's reputation as well.
I would speak to it just in this regard, like just from doing a little bit of computer grading with Pure Graded. One thing that we do is like we'll make sure that the flaw isn't like dust or like a hair or something like that. You know what I mean? Just because like you've seen like some of the top loaders I've given you on my personal cards just because I'm cheap and I give myself the crappy ones. Like I'll give Nate the top loaders I use on my own cards look like they've smoked cigarettes for 30 years. You know what I mean? So there might be some crusty stuff on my cards, you know what I mean, when Nate gets them to send to PSA. So you figure if the average person sends stuff like that out and it's being put into, a computer program, they might pick up, a piece of dust or hair or whatever. Like I have cats, so like my cat's hair might be in like one of my beautiful Verigel cards, and like obviously you'd want a person to verify that, that's not a problem.
Yeah, Adam says their PSA cheapest thing is $300. That's because they shut down a lot of their different options, and that's one of the few that they have open because they want to work on their backlog and stuff like that. So they will definitely be definitely cheaper than that unless they want to start going Chapter 11. That's for sure. Harlan said, if you had local franchises, there would be so much money being passed under the table for tens. Oh, man. That'd be like me grading Pittsburgh's cards. You know what I mean? Like 10, 10, 10, 10. But, in the same aspect, that would kill grading and all the companies that would be associated with that as well, from PSA to whoever. So,
Yep. I think that's why most companies like kind of try to keep things as in-house as possible. You know what I mean? Just because like if anything like that would ever like happen, you know what I mean? Like that would ruin a company. Like even PSA, like being the king of the industry, you know what I mean? They couldn't rebound from that probably.
Right.
And like I'm sure that like Nat Turner or Dr. James Beckett, like they would tell you like this is like literally the most important thing to us is like making sure that like the number that comes on your slab is credible.
Exactly.
I think that's why the resale value is always so high, is because they're protective of it.
Definitely. Because like if you got a bad grade on a PSA card or whatever, you can actually get that, reviewed or whatever. Now you probably won't get it back for 4 months or whatever, or who knows, just to look over a card real quick. But you know what I mean? Like you can get a revision of your slab or whatever. Derek asked, you guys see a better time to look at different sports to buy? Do you wait until the off season to dry to get a better price? Definitely. Usually for me, it's like the second the team like gets bounced, or maybe like like when the finals is completely over for me. That's when I'm really hunting, basketball, for example. And then, maybe I'll wait a month because a lot of people are on the same type of scheme I'm on. And then, there's no basketball talk. There's nothing for basketball. I'll pounce in on that. So for me, I almost have like a cycle. You know what I mean? Like for basketball, for me, I haven't bought any in I think it's close to 2 months. I haven't bought any hoop like at all. I was buying some baseball and some other stuff just to kind of like test some different waters, see if the market was gonna, spin off somewhere else. And for me, the off season is definitely one of the best times to buy, or injury. You know what I mean? Like Klay Thompson prices have not really moved at all. He hasn't even played a game in 2 years. So like for me, like he might be one of the super hypes, coming into next season. But also he's a big risk because he hasn't played in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So he comes back strong. You might see his cards jump up a couple $100 for PSA 10 or whatever the case is. So
yeah, I'm normally the exact same way Nate is, where I'm like an off-season buyer. But like with the way modern basketball's been right now, like prices are already off-season down for most guys. So like I haven't necessarily been hot and heavy picking stuff up, but I've been picking up a lot of the stuff I like. And I've been picking up a lot of the young guys too. I always pick the young guys up because the young guys are easy to pick up, grade, and flip. Because even if, for example, you don't believe in Matisse Thybulle, there's a 76ers fan out there that does. You know what I mean? Like even if you don't believe in Isaac Okoro, there's a Cavaliers fan that does. You know what I mean? So that's my logic behind it, and it seems to work really well. So like I've been okay even with modern basketball, but normally I will wait because like Nate said, like if this was last year at this time, like everybody still playing basketball would be shooting through the roof with every game they play. But it's not last year, so you know what I mean? Like unless it's like the really big guys.
what up, Alan? He says, will you ever let me shape that beard for you? Maybe one day. I've never honestly, like, since I started growing this ever since I got hurt at work or whatever, right? And I just let it go, man. And this is what transpired. Just a whole lot of beard, and I just let it rock and roll.
Dude, he does that Hollywood barber gig, bro. He could like give you something like OG official, bro.
I wasn't too shabby back in the day, with a razor and what's it called, little shape up as well. But I just haven't done it in a long time. What what
Maybe
3 years now?
he don't even have razors at his house anymore.
Nope. Chris says, even if you don't believe in Virgil, there's still someone looking for him, and you know who he is? That's who.
You know this, man.
Dun, 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 dun.
See, I was making that face because I didn't approve of that jersey he was wearing there.
Right, that was his angry face.
Yep.
Paul says, you think soccer prices will be going down soon? Most leagues are ending or coming to an end. I just think, whenever the off season comes around, no one's talking about it. No
Maybe
one's
after
thinking about
Euros.
it. People forget about it. I don't know much about soccer to even.
It's
like
really the one market that has stayed hot, stayed inclining while everything else has been declining. That's like the one market, but Euros is literally the big thing, and it's getting ready to happen. And being that it's so global, I think is really. This cat is killing me. He wants fed so bad right now.
Derek says, when I'm searching these eBay auctions as a new collector and buyer, does an insert or something bring a better price than a base? Number, silver, the colors. Like some inserts, like the case hit ones or whatever the case is, those would be better as well. So, I mean, with inserts, it would have to be a numbered short print or something, really rare silver, something like that, to even have a chance of being better than a base. Because for the most part, inserts aren't what you want to go for unless they're the, like the kabooms or the insane crazy ones like that everyone hopes to get. What up, Skylar? Good to see
you, bro.
Well.
Alan wants to know, do you have a take on Formula One, Nate? That stuff is legitimately blowing up. Like the last Dallas show, literally everybody was talking about Formula One. Yeah.
I don't have nothing to say. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm not into any type of racing. You know what I mean? Like, for me to get excited to really know, or get a stance, I honestly have to know, a good bit about it, or at least follow it a little bit to be able to give you my honest opinion. Because I don't want to just tell you guys anything. I want to just give you guys good information. So honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't follow it as much as I probably should, being in this market, but I like that it's hot. So if I were to find it at retail, I would buy it, open it, and hopefully somebody I know knows enough about Formula One to tell me which ones to grade. that would definitely be the plan if I found it.
Skylar says, you guys heard of Whatnot yet? I have been killing it on there, and it's turning into the best platform. Is like a selling platform, kind of like an eBay for cards or collectibles, or
kind of basically you can go on there and say you want to sell sports cards, you say sports cards, or say you want comic books, comics, toys, any kind of thing you want to watch, buy, sell, whatever. You can go on there, and I actually signed up for it after our interview the other day, Skylar. I haven't been approved to sell on there yet and go live. I applied for it, but I'm on there now. So I'm hoping to go on there and do some live fire sales, just because I think that'll be dope.
Are they with another company or anything like backing them or something? Or
who's that?
I just get a little weird. Like with this market, there's so many new stuff coming out. Like I always like start double thinking some of the stuff because it just makes me a little nervous. I'll be honest.
Well,
I'm
no,
not
dude,
saying it's bad or anything,
it's
but
not like an eBay of sorts. It's like selling stuff like you would if you were to go live on IG Live or live on YouTube. It's
oh,
that type of platform. So,
okay.
like for us, like say we would want to like take our Sunday auction, like you know, to that platform. Like there's already a built-in audience there as well. So, like I think that's something that, like for example, like you might never have heard of Picksburgh, but you might get notified, hey, Picksburgh's live over there selling sports cards because you might have told the app that you like sports cards. So, like I think that's the way it works. At least that's what I gathered, Skylar. Let me know if I'm wrong, because since you're on it, you know better than me. Oh, okay,
It's
takes
a lot of good proof.
Cool. Put in a word, man. Let them know I'm friends with the moon, bro. The $1 auctions are where I kill it, and they have a ton of funding. That's awesome, bro. Because I'm so good at finding like bargain binage.
He says free to buy, free to sell. Get out of
So
town.
there's no fees. That's beautiful. Yeah, but that was literally why. Like, I talked to him. I'm like, I'm going there because like I saw Instagram as like a fruitful place, and he's telling me that this place is like even better than Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I'm signing up immediately.
Is there any like buyer seller protection or anything like that would get involved or anything like that? Like if you would have any issues?
Okay, sellers get a 10% fee. Okay, that makes sense. But no membership. Gotcha. Michael's asking, is it a phone app only? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think that's how I got it, at least.
Yeah, it is. It's only phone app because I pulled up on my computer instantly and I couldn't do anything. It asked me if I wanted Android or Apple, and I'm on my phone as we speak.
Yeah.
Downloading this.
And it asked you like if you wanted it for Android or Apple, even though it probably
that's what it said. That's what it said. You know, whenever I went on the computer, it was like acting like I was downloaded on my phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like super weird because you'd have to be in like either the App Store or like the marketplace. Or...
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So
yeah, definitely, Chris. Like, I mean, we haven't actually talked about that or anything, but like honestly, I'm trying to start doing sales throughout the week on a lot of different platforms, because I have more stuff than I can sell in fire sales. And one thing I've noticed in the fire sales, like a couple people got mad because like I'd show like half a stack and then stop. But like, after, is that your phone?
That was me, my bad. I didn't know live meant like they're actually live.
Yeah, no worries. I was like looking around for like, is that me? Like, am I doing that? But yeah. So anyway, like with a lot of the fire sales I've been doing, like a lot of people are like, man, you only show like half a stack. But like one thing I've been noticing is like the analytics, like only like 25% of people watch longer than like 10 minutes on like that type of video. So it's like, it's probably not worth like showing like 30 minutes worth of cards, you know, for that type of platform. So what I'm thinking is adding like an Instagram live, adding a whatnot in addition to what I'm already doing on YouTube would be probably beneficial, since like the retention on that type of thing hasn't been super great analytically yet.
So Scholar said, at the moment, yes, and the sellers have to prove refunds as a buyer. You do not get paid as a seller until the buyer receives the items. So it's like a Macari.
Yeah, it sounds like
type of situation. This is the next best thing. I just want to let you know. I appreciate that, man, because I got some cards that need to be sold, and eBay ain't been pushing my bigger cards really, even though I'm giving them extra money and everything else to sell them.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, like, that's one thing I've noticed. Like, I haven't, like, if anybody that watches my eBay store, they're probably like, this dude, like, doesn't list anything on here anymore. It's like, social media is like the way to go, bro. Like
It is.
when you find the people that actually want the product and you can bring it to them, like there's no sense in like waiting around like another week or two to get like, an extra $1.75, and then have to pay fees on that. I'd rather just bring it right to the people that want it and make my money and move on to the next thing and do the same thing over and over and over.
D-Rock says, check out Twitch as well, Pittsburgh. There's a community there. You know what?
I know, D-Rock. I be watching Nate, and I don't know if you know this, D-Rock. Probably not, because I got like one follower, but I got a Twitch too, bro. And when I be over here, I be over there as well. D-Rock. No, I'm just messing with you, bro. I be hanging out sometimes,
All I know is I tried to put some GTA on the stream the other day, and I lost about 6 followers. I guess they don't like my GTA.
Do you still got the DDB button over there?
I guess they thought my thing was. What was that? Did it play?
Yeah, it played.
I was like, what the heck happened? It just like went black on my side.
Thanks, Skylar. I appreciate you, my man.
Look, we lost 6 people instantly because of that.
Because of the doo-doo brown?
Yeah, that everyone went to that app or whatever. Thanks a lot, Skylar. Jeez.
Skylar's over there. Hurry up, guys! Put up cards. They're coming to the moon. That's awesome. That'd be sick though if that actually did happen.
To the moon, Alice. To the moon.
Go follow the moon over there, though, guys.
No, I'm just messing with Skylar. It's all good. I appreciate the info, man. See, this is what like doing these Saturday lives are all about. Giving good information all around. You guys give us some information. You guys ask questions. We try to have a little conversation, and boom, bada bing. We all help each other out. That's what a good community does.
Exactly, Skylar. He goes, anymore, it's all about how fast you can move your cards. And that's exactly in a declining market, like you almost have to like be about the click flip a little bit more, because like last year they were just all going up. And it didn't matter what you held on to because you weren't losing on anything. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense, but like again, like I said, it all goes back to who you believe in. That's why I try to tend to lean like with my personal pickups. Like, I mean, honestly, if I'm picking it up for me, it's obviously a terrible Cavalier or a Steeler that like no one's heard of. But if I'm like picking it up to like make money, it's always either a young guy, because someone always believes in a young guy, regardless. Like, do you guys have any idea how many Dylan Windler cards I have? Like, there's sick people like me out there that believe in these young guys. You know what I mean? Like,
how many Dylan Windlers I have.
So I cater to the mentally ill like myself. And then like the goats, like you can never go wrong finding gradable goats to flip, because people are going to always want their stuff. Even if it's like a LeBron James 18th year card, people are still going to pay top dollar for that graded.
Mike said, wow, I have a Whatnot account and forgot about it. See?
Nice. There you go, man.
Hopefully got approved by now.
Yeah, maybe you're finally ready to start selling. Yeah, so I applied literally the day you were on with me, Skylar. So it'll be interesting to see how long it actually takes. Because I have a way to tangibly go back and check now, because I literally did it the day I interviewed you.
Derek said Utah making a comeback, 94-83.
Nice. Do you think Lewis Scott was at the helm of that comeback?
Who?
Have you ever seen the movie Celtic Pride?
Oh, yeah.
David Wayne's and like Daniel Stern, Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, Lewis Scott was the Damon Wayans character.
Yeah, it's the end of the third quarter. They're down by 11 right now. Clippers trying to make it a series, so that's good, man. I don't think they'll beat Utah, especially since they're down. I think they're 2-0 right now. I think that's what they're at right now. If I remember right.
That's awesome, Skylar. They pay for the shipping? That's what's up. And you don't have to collect payments. Yeah, honestly, like that's one of the things that for me, like doing so many like sales throughout the week, not on eBay, that's like one thing that takes a while is the invoicing and like all of that stuff. So like just having that option to where it does that's actually pretty nice. That's really nice. How do you do that though? Like, so like if I'm here and I'm like, all right, guys, we're selling the only ever graded Tony Hansen card because I'm honestly the only guy dumb enough to grade one. So I'm selling the only graded Tony Hansen card. So would it be just like this, like you selling like you normally would on IG? And how does it know to like make the label for that person, or like how do they know who bought what? Or is it just like, I guess I'm just confused. I'm gonna just have to watch your next sale. Because, yeah, I'm gonna just watch your next sale because I'm so intrigued by this selling platform, especially like when a guy like Moon, who is like literally like a really fast growing Instagram channel, you know what I mean, really says like something about this being superior to Instagram. You know what I mean? That'd be like you saying, man, like, you know what? I really think that what is it? Vimeo or whatever that other YouTube-esque site is good. Just like YouTube, the other video one. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's gotta be something to it, Yeah, or even like Twitch is a better example than Vimeo. Vimeo never really like got off. Twitch is a better example because Twitch is like a whole different type of demographic. And it's like live streaming, just like YouTube would be, I guess. And I've heard a little birdie tell me that you like Twitch a little bit, Nate. Is that true?
I do. It just, I mean, honestly, from a creator standpoint to a person who watches a lot of Twitch just from people playing GTA and other things that I like or whatever, like it's cool because you can clip like epic, scenes or whatever or something funny that happens, and now that's on your page for other people to watch because it was awesome or someone liked it, so you could see what people enjoy. There's different ways people can show support through just like subscriptions or they have bits and different things like that. And if they don't, you can run ads, which kind of stinks because we all hate ads. Like I hate ads, you hate ads, we all hate ads. But
why you run the ad on this video then, Nate? You just want my money? Do you just want my money to watch your free content? Is that what you're doing with this ad, Nate? You're taking my money to watch this free content? I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, like I mean, it's just a really, I don't know, it's just a really smooth. Like YouTube is a little clunky, honestly. I think they tried to do
because it's not made for streaming. You know what I mean? Like YouTube was more or less made for like hey, let's like pre-record something and release something. You know what I mean? Like obviously there's a lot of streaming to it, but Twitch was not made to be that pre-recorded platform. It was made to be like we're that live platform. You know what I mean? Like that's like their bread and butter, in my opinion. Well, you do Twitch at a lot higher level than me, so you could probably speak a lot better.
We'll be live on Pittsburgh's channel tomorrow.
Yes, sir. My channel, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we got a lot of fire too, guys. So Marty has like a lot of new slabs here this week too. He just literally showed up my house with like 20 new slabs yesterday. So
yeah, I just put on the someone's auction. They had a photo of LaMelo, and it was like a hobby prism short print or whatever, graded. And I turned it on, and of course, that wasn't the card that was being auctioned.
Was that what you were looking at?
Yeah, that was one of the auctions. Like I just clicked on one or whatever, and it looked like one of our auctions. So like,
that's cool.
you put that teaser or that coming up last card, and then you play a bunch of other stuff or whatever. So maybe we might have to stream on both of those at the same time and incorporate that into the auction or something. Maybe it's not gonna hurt. Just gotta click live.
The only problem is you're gonna have to wait for the approval. Yeah. So if I were you, I would click get approved right now.
Yeah, I did already. I mean, I signed up and everything, so but I can bid right now if I wanted to. But nice. All right, guys, it is 10:36. I've been live longer than I thought I would. I got to train 2 new guys on a Sunday, and I have to be at work at 4 a.m. So thanks so much for everyone being here, and definitely appreciate it. We have an auction on Pittsburgh's channel tomorrow.
Yep.
Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. I'll get you guys a link to it right quick. And then that way you can just go and click the reminder button and you'll be reminded.
I'm going to throw my link for my Twitch if you want to come watch some GTA. Bang!
Here's the auction link, guys. Feel free to go over there and click it. Make sure you hit that reminder button, though. And that subscribe, because you'd be a whole lot cooler if you guys help me reach 2,700 this evening. Because I'm super close, I think. So,
and last but not least, I wanted to drop the Facebook group, just in case you're not in there. Get in there. We're going to be doing, you can buy, sell cards. You know what's going on with us, with lives, different stuff like that. Ask questions, sell your own cards, and you can play fantasy football with us because that will be coming up shortly.
Nate and I will also be selling swimsuit calendars in there featuring the both of us. I'm just kidding.
I'll do my best Virgil pose.
I'll do like the Bo Derek coming out of the pool.
Oh man.
Sorry,
all right, guys.
The show just went to the toilet, didn't it?
We are out of here. Appreciate y'all.
See y'all.
Fantastic night. We'll see you tomorrow.